Okay, let's simplify some basic algebraic expressions. And just quick reminder, things can only be added and subtracted when they're alike. And when they're alike, they stay alike when you add or subtract them. Anything can be multiplied, anything can be combined, simply by combining the things that are similar. So in the first one, again, reminder, in order to add or subtract here, we're just looking for like terms. We can add and subtract things that are alike. 2x minus 5x is negative 3x. When they add or subtract, they stay alike. Positive 3 and a positive 2 gives you a positive 5. Those cannot be added. We're finished. Anything can be multiplied. So 4 times 3x minus 5, we can multiply this together. It's called distributive property. Let's get rid of everything. 4 times 3x is 12. Leave the x alone. Only multiply the things that are similar. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. Positive 2 times everything. Positive 2 times negative 5x. Even though they're not alike, they can be multiplied. You multiply the 2 times the 5 and leave the x alone. 2 times 1 is 2. Then we're just like the last problem. Combining like terms, we can only add and subtract things that are alike. 12x minus 10x is 2x. A negative 20 and a positive 2 gives you a negative 18, and we're finished. Next one, same thing. Negative 3x is being multiplied by both of these. Even though they're not like terms, they can still be multiplied. You only multiply the pieces that are alike. Negative 3x times x, negative 3. X times x gives you x squared. Negative 3 times 4, multiply the negative 3 times the 4, and leave the x alone. Now, anytime you have pluses and minus signs, here you have what's called a binomial times a binomial. You're going to distribute this. You're going to multiply x times both of these, which gives me a positive 2x times x is x squared, and x times 3 is a 3x. Then you're going to multiply the negative 6 times both of them. Pretty much you're distributing both of the values. Negative 6 times 2x is negative 12. Leave the x alone. Negative 6 times 3 is a negative 18. Now we have addition and subtraction. And a reminder, you can only add and subtract when things are alike. Negative 3x squared is alike with positive 2x squared. Add the things, the coefficients out front, gives you a negative 1, and leave the x squared alone. And notice I left the 1. You don't have to put it because it's understood. Negative 12x, positive 3x, negative 12x. Leave the x alone. We're adding them because they're alike. Negative 12 and negative 12 is negative 24. When you add the 3 with that, it gives you negative 21x. Then finally, you have the minus 18 tacked on the end, and you're finished. Next up, the whole thing's being divided by 3. This is, again, distributive property. The reason it's distributive property is you have plus and minus signs, so you have to divide every term by 3. And a reminder, to divide something by 3, that's fine that they're not alike. You're simply going to divide the numbers that are alike and write your answer, 1x squared. The negative 6x times 3, only divide the things that are alike. Negative 2, leave the x alone. The 10 divided by 3, you can write that as a decimal, but I'm going to leave it as 10 divided by 3 since it doesn't divide evenly. And then again, you have distributive property. We're going to multiply x. Now, these are what's called conjugates. There is a shortcut. If you know the shortcut, let's use it instead. But I'll do it the long way. X times x gives you an x squared. X times negative 2 gives you a negative 2x. Now we got to distribute the positive 2. 2 times x gives you a positive 2x. And 2 times negative 2 gives you a negative 4. These two cancel as they always will. Now, adding, subtracting what we got left. X squared combines with x squared. Add the numbers out front. Leave the x squareds alone. The negative 2x, I don't believe, combines with anything. And then you have 10 thirds and negative 4. Now, this is a good opportunity to, again, remind you that even with fractions, you can only add and subtract when things are alike. The bottoms here are not alike, so let's make them alike. Let's multiply top and bottom by 3. The top becomes a 12. The bottom becomes a 3. Now you can subtract them. 10 thirds minus 12 thirds. When you add or subtract, things stay alike. They have to be alike, and they're going to stay alike. So 10 minus 12 is negative 2. They stay alike. They're both going to be thirds. Final answer. Okay, the next one, a little bit different than distributive property because you actually have a binomial on the bottom. So So when you have a binomial on bottom, we're going to have to do one of two things. We're going to have to use either long division or synthetic division. Synthetic division, much easier if you only have a x plus or minus something on bottom. So let's do synthetic. So we're dividing by x minus 3. We're dividing into 1x squared minus 6x plus 10. When we divide that, bring down the number. Anytime something gets below the line, multiply it by the 3. 3 times 1 is 3. That gives you negative 3, something below the number, multiply it by the 3. We have a remainder of 1. So when we divide that, we have x minus 3 plus 1 over x minus 3. Distributive property here, negative 4 is being multiplied by everything. Negative 4 times 6x, they're not alike, but you can still multiply. Negative 4 times 6 is negative 24, leave the x alone. And then the negative 4 times the positive 2 is a negative 8. We're combining all of our like terms. Our 1x and negative 24x combines to give me negative 23. Leave the x alone. They stay alike. Negative 3 and negative 8 gives you a negative 11. And we're just going to leave that remainder as is. And that's going to be my final answer. Then the last one. We have actually a synthetic division and a long division. So this one might take a little while. So we're dividing the first one by x minus 2. So we've got a 2 divided into 1x squared minus 6x plus 8. Now the top could be factored and we could divide that way, which would be much easier. Bring down the 1, multiply by 2. Negative 4, multiply by 2. 0, my answer is x minus 4 for the first part. Second part, we're long division by 2x minus 3. So 2x minus 3 divided into 6x squared minus x minus 12. Again, we're only worried about the 2x. 2x into 6x squared gives me a 3x. When you divide, now we multiply it back out. 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times negative 3 is negative 9x. Subtract the whole thing, which means we're going to change the signs of both of them. Should always cancel. Negative x plus 9x is 8x. Bring down the negative 12. Again, 2x into 8x goes 4 times. When you multiply that out, you actually get 8x minus 12. Change both signs, you have no remainder. So therefore, that part is 3x plus 4. Now that we have both of them divided, we can now combine like terms. We can add and subtract when things are like. X plus 3x is 4x. A negative 4 and a positive 4 cancels each other out, and that big, long, ugly term turns into 4x.